I'm getting back to my armor. Last time I spent nearly 2 hours just cutting and tracing, which led to all this. Now fortunately, the guide does come with instructions for how to set it up. Wow. Okay, now my eyes are playing tricks on me. It does not look warped. So I got to go deal with my paranoia a second. A long straight line. Oh. Yeah, it's not warped, that's still straight. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Give you an impression of how bad the display that I'm working with is. It looks like the entire thing's like warped that way, is much lower than up here. The table's flat, the camera's flat, so it's my imagination. So basically now I've just got to assemble these pieces and that. Now, because this is a temporary fix for the start, I'm going to... okay. Because this is all temporary, I'm going to be assembling it just with tape. Now it's going to be a bit of a mess for a while, but to make them all in a position where I can see what number they are. And there's the other E5, so E6. Okay, there are 2 E5s. Oof. So 10 connects on to 12. Now for temporary tacking, I'm quite happy just using tape. Let's see 11. Now, of course, that one is a little bit bigger and it will force it to bend. I'm not bothering with that for now. And this one literally goes on like that in the end. Now this will safely survive like a week. Now I'm only going to stick both sides on this one because I'm inverting it at the end. So next up we need E9, which is you, and an E11, which is you. Now this is just for a sanity size check, just make sure it actually fits. So anyone who's actually made stuff knows foam is relatively expensive to make or to get. So it's best to test fit before you lose material, it costs money. Okay, next up is E6 and E8. Now this phase compared to the rest, relatively simple. Now only one side of these will actually like to fold, but yeah, it'll be fine. As you can see, some of the folds like that do become quite prominent. Okay, so next up is E5 and E7, just these two. So E5 and E7, you need an E7 there and an E5 there. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to fold this way anyway, but that's a flat one. These sections we can make separately, but then we need to stick them all together onto that once it's done, because reasons. So we start off with that. And just put the E2 here. It's okay if it's a little bit over and it's a little bit messy, because, you know. When I was transferring it, I wasn't being that careful. So free goes here. I have a feeling this is going to be too big. Okay, it's close enough. At this point, I'm glad I'm going anime. I don't know what the size this is going to end up being. Just a bit big. Well, it's fitting, so it's working. What I will say is paper doesn't react exactly the same as EVA does, so it's not perfect, but it'll work. Just tack you on there. Tack carefully on your friend. And it is never as easy as just, oh, invert it. It is, you always have to go the long way around and work stuff out. Yeah, when it comes to the final one, I will be doing it reversed. here and that there. Now it's to the proper side, where it's meant to be. And that's just that inverted. We got together like that in the end, but they'll stick, they'll be fine. It's once you start having to get all the curves to work, then it starts becoming a big problem. Okay. Let's pin this on so it doesn't tear apart. Okay, you are up next. You know what, paper does not like to bend and flex. All the other good stuff that foam does. Starting to go. Also, I just realised that entirely when I'm doing that, it's off camera. I'm just lining them up there. the way this folds heading, I'm going to have to tape the inside as well. So these are just guides. Realistically, this only needs to hold together for like a few hours at the most. Okay, and that's half. It's entirely misshapen at the moment, but that's because it needs the other half to hold it together. So for that, we're going to do this. This one's already turning in the correct direction, so I am not objecting. The next up is 6 and 8. Close enough. Well, you only need it to hold together long enough to do the tests, so. And yeah, I know I keep repeating myself, but that's what this entire phase is. It's just Literally make a thing, make a second part of it, stick it together, make sure it's right. You'll make sure that the whole thing fits. If it doesn't, start again. First thing is I've lost a load of weight since the I measured for this, so oops. Start the year I was planning to remake an old set of armour, and well, 2020 happened. So in the end I just went with, well, let's do it, I'm going to make this armour because it looks silly and could be a bit of fun. Quick bit over the top. Okay, and there we have the other side. Just bring the two together. This has been very counterproductive for me getting in it, but to show off what it looks like, this is the best way. itself up on its own weight because that is how thick and heavy this paper is. Then we now have a very large chest plate. As you can see, it doesn't like folding properly around there. We've got some little mistakes there, but overall it works. But now for the moment I really don't want. About right. It has a bit of room around me, but that's to be expected when it comes to, you know, getting armor this big. And of course I need the 5mm all the way around, and I think that's between about 5 and 10, so I think it's 7mm all the way around. So I mean, we're okay. That's definitely in good territory there. Now, as we put this here, I would ask people for opinion, but it's just me, so. Yes, you do count. So I'll go for the waist next then. Okay, that's what I was going to do anyway. Now that chest plate is a lot bigger than my, or a lot bigger than my design. That is intentional. For now, because I'm going to reduce it down later. Maybe that's why. Okay, I can see better now. Right. So I'm going to basically redesign it and make it look like what I want. But that's going to be right here. Come on, autofocus. Tell you what. No more autofocus. Haha. If only I could tell whether or not that was in focus or not. So no, I haven't changed anything. Okay, apparently that is in focus. The display I'm using is so old that I can barely actually see it. And seriously, each chat letter is about that big. So, slight visual difficulties. So next up, I'm going to do the waist plates. Go. As I said, there's something about So what I'm going to do for this is measure the distance I think it's going to be on me. Again, I'm just using a measuring tape. But I'm going to go from the waist down to about where I think it would end, which is about 3/4 through the thigh. Which I'm going to say about 40 centimeters. And the ones on the edges are going to be about 25. So it's 25 around the side. In fact, I think if I make them all the same, I should be okay. Just make them all 20 each. So it's 20 by 40. That's a convenient box for me. Oh. And thankfully this works in 20 by 40, so I don't need the tape measure. So the one on the front can basically be flat because it doesn't need to curve around anything. It's just going to have one on the front and back, which is just going to be a curved section. But on the sides, I'm going to need to have it fitting closer to me than you do on the front. So mark out to 20 and another 20. Then mark out to 40. That's on 40. Simple there. So we do this one first. So basically it comes down like, sorry, I need a 10 line. Okay. 40, which means we could, about 15 should be okay. So basically what we end up with is like that. And I'm going to cheat. It's the easiest way to make a mirror image, as everyone knows, is to fold it over and then just, you know, cut the same thing, cut them both in one go. Just fold along the centre line. Fortunately for me, my over-aggressive penning has scored it. That's fine. It's close enough. We can deal with that. So that's basically going to be the front section. So we end up like that. Which, of course, if you want to see if it's too big, you just stand up and put it on yourself. So this one is going to just get straight replicated because it's going to be destroyed in about 30 seconds. I measured this one out just to destroy it. And that's because the ones on the side are going to need a different measurement. Because basically we need them to arch outwards, and in order to do that we've got to add more material to the centre. So what we do to make that is stick this along it. Just go like that. Then up there. And it's about the point that I pinched there is going to be the centre. So this is going to start off pretty close, then like literally adding that much. Like that. As you can see, I'm doing this with my normal method, not the proper, well, not the proper, we already have a model of this method. Which is, of course, far more wasteful, but now I think this is going to be too big. As I said, it's easier to remove material than it is to add it, so if it is too big, I'll cut it. And the folding back like this is just to give it the new direction of fold, so it goes together easier. And now, when we fold that out, instead of the flat surface that we had before, because before we have it will just sit down flat but with a curve, right? So, you know, like that. But this one actually folds out and intentionally curves outwards and then back in. And I can add a little bit there that actually makes it fit better, but yeah. That is about right. Now I only need to make one of each of them, down to the fact that basically I'm going to transfer it onto foam, and once it's transferred you don't need to worry about it again. Yeah, that's why I was getting that bit out of the way now, because it's far easier to do it now. Well, I felt like it. The main reason was I felt like it. Oh, no, that's my paper. I may wreck my paper. Okay, so now we're going back onto the main chest plate because we're done. Oh, like the legs are done, I'm fine. At this point I can just stick this on permanently because I'm not going to be wearing this to test it out. I know what look I'm going for. Basically, because I can't guarantee where all the cuts are going to be, I can't just assume that it will hold its shape once I start modifying. And this section is going to be a lot of me using my imagination. We've got the full chest plate. Let's go grab this. And I mean, when you're working with that picture, so essentially we're cutting off just below the chest line, right? Which is about right. So if we do a thin section underneath, should measure. It's always a good idea to measure. 4 centimeters below that seam, which is this seam. Of course, just carry it on around the back. here. But we did also agree that the front would have a little cutout into it. So if we start off here, so a little bit like that. And also, I don't like the perfectly straight line along the back. That's annoying. Got it like that. So we've got the little line on the back and we've got the section on the front, which is about what I wanted. So now it's time to be bigger. Now, of course, this is not cut properly, so don't worry about that. I'll be just finish up. Now, the reason I did the big nasty cuts first, you know, going through being really rough with it, is because when I come back, it's much easier to cut it when you return, and it's been like half removed. And get this way. Get that a little bit unstuck. And then come up here, get it a little bit unstuck. Okay, now that's starting to look more like it, but I mean, this cut ends up around there, and this one basically it ends up like that. I love the fact that I have a miscut, which is exactly where it needs to be. It's a bit too high. And of course around the back we are like cutting off around this level. You're there. And let's do again on the other side. Look, Fly, if you're going to be doing that, could you just, like, be less annoying about it? Okay, so there are, we now marked up the top. Now I have to carefully and non-brutally cut all that out. Just head down this way. Again on this side. And a quick run up around here. I believe I have one more to do over there. I can see it, so yeah, I do. I mean, you can't see any detail on it yet, but that's pretty good. Can't get this over my shoulders. Do not be stupid, you cannot get it over your shoulders. It also means that these little side bits here, where they actually connect up, will be perfect as little bits to get side on. I mean, yeah, actually that fits fine. Okay, it's not that exposed, but you know. Let's get it off without breaking it. So yeah, that was shockingly quick, but so I think I keep this side because it's my best surviving side. I also well, I definitely do not have enough foam for this in one go, or on the last piece. As for the glove sections, I mean, I want to make gauntlets, but I don't know if I'm going to be doing it this time or next time. But Again, this was a prototype I made a year or so ago. I only made it for my middle finger, apparently. But that's the type of thing I'm going to be doing for the gauntlets in the end. But that is literally cut these tiles, or cut these little scales, and just do that repeatedly until you've got enough to be able to fit on your fingers. Do one of them for each. That was quite a cool experiment. I mean, those actually bend and flex. It's quite nice. But yeah, that's going to be right at the end. I'm just making the chest and leg armour first. Or chest and waist first. So you definitely keep that side. Just realised I'm actually going to need a picture of something to show I've done something today. It'd be nice if I held its shape a little better, but I will accept. Good enough. I didn't actually cut up to the top. I thought of it in time. Now you don't do the detailing at this point. Right, so that bit's the bit that's going. Just remark these so we know this is E6. E5, E10, E1, 2, 3, 4, okay. The upside of keeping mostly complete pieces is you tend to keep the ident you gave them. That big E10 there is a big clue. Where I'm still going to need to follow the instructions when I put it together at the end. The 90-degree angle on that looks really harsh compared to all the other curves. shocking that I split. I was not entirely sure. Now, of course, it's bits like this where the mistakes start creeping in that you're going to have to correct later, but that's not really a problem. So mistakes are just lessons. The problem is when you don't learn from them. Okay, so that is the one side of the armour. It's not bad. But I'm going to have to get out and air out the foam before we start. Let's have a look. This is all that I have left of the good stuff. Maybe. So like this one is going to be the big problem, getting it in. Sort of like that. Okay, we can literally use up the last of the foam. I'm in. Just got ourselves a cutter, some chalk. That line I drew was that. Yeah, looks about right. Now, normally I'd be doing this with a straight edge, but there are no straight lines on this anymore. And of course, because how tight this is going to be, I really need to be careful. We have to get it all out in one shot. Now in cutting foam, sharp knife is pretty important, but so is not cutting yourself. Remember, always watch the knife while cutting. Don't look away, unless you don't like having a hand. At which point, still watch where you're cutting. Yeah, we can get that out of there. I'm marking out chalk because it has a nice contrast against the black of the foam. It's really easy to tell where your edges are. And you get nice neat lines this way. Whereas if you are after perfectly straight lines, it's much more effective to go and hammer that wood, go away from it. Okay, if you're actually making straight lines, straight edge, much more effective than hand cutting. I learned that a long time ago. Also, have you ever wondered where all the holes, knife marks and everything else in my desk come from? Why? You can see me doing this. plus it's lasted me this long. If I need to get another one, I mean, 5 years of crafting is pretty good. I think like a 20 quid table. Wasn't that much when I got it. I can tell you that line finishes up there. Okay, and more cutting. Yeah. Okay, here we go. And a little cut up here. Oops, I missed. Have to swap hands. Okay. That's one side. Just free up some space. I mean, the scraps do come in useful, but not right now. I'll probably need stuff like that for the section later, or for doing the detailing later. Might make it to the dry fitting today. And move my thumb out of the way. And that's number 2. Check that out there. Can we fit this in here? No. Can we fit that in there? Yes. Okay, maybe get another bit of chalk. Now, as you can see, I am ignoring the line in some places. That's just where I know that the tape just, the tape made a mess of the line. So I'm just following where I know the line should be. Okay, we haven't gone across there yet. Here we have. Here. Are you done? Yes, you are. It helps to be able to move stuff closer and get my chalk back. Nope, doesn't really fit down here. Ooh, looks like you're meant to be there. Very much describing to do when it comes to cutting out. It is literally the same thing again and again. Yep, it's that bit. Get you in here? Nope. Run up there, this bit. You can see where all my previous mess was. Okay, and we're across the top here. And that's an E5. Still going to mark all of the lines on them at the end, but this one's going on back to front, but it doesn't matter because we just reverse all these anyway. Around like that. Get this side. And go slow here to try to get the curve right. Probably mess it all up, but it's part of the fun. That on the pile. Above the top. Let's just see where this one will go. Yeah, that'll do. That actually feels like a better way to do it. If just make enough room like that, you'll be okay. Just chuck that there. Get that one. And of course, all these are off size, so we're fine. Oh, big one. Run on like that, and we've got the shape around about. I can't believe I nearly forgot this one. I mean, when it comes to the final assembly, I'm going to put all of the markings on it for where they're supposed to attach. Because they are sort of really necessary, but I still haven't done them yet. Let's see where we're still attached. Okay, I'm surprised I have that much left. I mean, pleasantly surprised, but still surprised. So we know that these two stick together. What did I do with... Right, what did I do with my tape? It's on the floor. Just a dry fit, make sure that everything's about right. Okay, come on, that way. That's okay-ish. Drawing so I actually know what I'm looking for. Wondering why I had so much foam left. I thought that went much better. I'm sure I cut one of them out. There is only one of them on the desk, which means I must have missed it. Will do. Also a good reason to test. If I'd had contact adhesive sitting on there waiting to go, that would have been really bad, not just embarrassing. Oh well, everyone makes mistakes. Because this knife is going to be real blunt soon. It's still going through pretty well, but I can see it's starting to get a bit too flat. Okay, that's not what I was expecting. No, you go together like this. I think. Yeah, it looks about right. Yeah, that definitely looks right. Excuse me. While I correct my mistake. So after you mess one thing up, it really throws you off your stride. And then you've got to get back again. When I'm taping this, I'm taping on the same way that I would do it with contact adhesive. One at each end, then work your way around. Or work your way to the center. But I'm not being half as rough with it as I would be. With that stuff, it's a case of you're sticking and I don't care. Whereas at this stage, it's more like, well, it'd be nice if you stuck. Plus, I'm gonna have to like clean it off and get all the chalk off. Okay, so next, okay, which one of them is which? Okay, so you're E5, which is first up, which means you're next up. Okay, you're E6, which means you go on this way. And as you'll rapidly see here, this is really difficult without markings telling you what to do. You over here with that curved bit, so you're this way. So heading round, we'll get there in a minute. Okay, so number 5. How the heck does this connect? Oh, like this. Okay. So forget the 2 5s, stick them together like that. Because that's the way they go together in the end. The ones around the breast area have issues being stuck together like this because you need special 45-degree cuts. But deciding the order of them is also a good reason to do this phase. This one down. So we're starting to go together. So you are E2 and you go that way, which means you're folded the wrong way. Whoops. You're E4, I think. Yes, you are. You are specifically number 4. So you're on this side. So you two go together like that. Now these are the highest tension carrying bits, so the tape doesn't last long on them. Yep, and this bit goes here and joins up there. Again, another reason to do a dry fit. Would never have found that. Not entirely sure we're supposed to have that overhang, but I'll accept it for now. Okay, so it would specifically be that one. If that overhang is, if that a little bit overhanging there is in the final section, I will remove it. Until then, from the inside. There you go. Basically, the forces on these sections are reversed. These ones are pulling that way, so the tape will remain stuck. This section I'm doing now is pulling inwards. When you do this, you're supposed to cut these at 45 degrees, so it actually like goes outwards, but I've been lazy, basically. Okay, that's stuck enough for a test fit. Shh. You didn't hear that. Nothing went wrong. And now let's do the second one. And this one goes up over the top. Does it? Yes, it does. And yeah, I'm going to do the proper cuts when I, do the final arrangement. But up until then, now I'm just going to get this to stick in here. No. I've got to invert it. Fortunately, it takes far less tape to correct than to get it right first time. Actually, no, it doesn't. That was silly. Okay, now that's facing the right way out. Oh wow, that was way too much. And get this bit. close enough. It's not good, but it's close. Don't get seal the top. Okay. It's together. The one final test I haven't done yet. Does it still fit? Yeah. Yeah. It's very sticky. Okay, I can fit my fingers under it, so it's okay. Yeah, come on, off you get. So in fact, I only need one side open to be able to do that, which I actually like. Still, the back's bugging me a little bit. I'll wait till it's all together properly, then make a decision. But so that's the start of the phone section. And I'm going to finish up here because pretty much time, and the glue takes ages. I don't have proper ventilation in here for it, and like contact adhesive is really bad without ventilation. I've experienced that in the past. So I should be back in about 6 days. Pretty much the schedule. So, and then, well, I'll be back working on this. Hopefully I should have aired out the rest of the foam by then, and we should be more than good enough to go. So thanks for coming. Hope you enjoyed watching this get built. And hopefully see you next time. Bye.